Hola, buenos días, buenas tardes y buenas noches. Otra vez a Spanish Nerd Livestream. Número 10 already. Llegamos a número 10 de esta livestream. Muchas gracias por estar aquí. Y también estoy muy agradecido también para estar acá. I'm very happy to be here and talk about 22 language learning goals. So this is extremely important for me because a lot of stuff has happened this year and I've actually reached a lot of my goals and I'm sure a lot of you have as well. So I want to talk about that, especially right now. I know it seems a little bit early to be thinking about kind of next year, like 2023 language goals, but I want to have this reflection right now because I know once we get closer to the end of the year, it gets very busy with Thanksgiving, Christmas, and things like that, or depending on where you live, we have the holidays coming up. So that's why I want to take some time right now to think about everything that we have accomplished this year so far as language learners. Entonces, déjame saber, votar en la encuesta. This question here in the chat, make sure that you answer it. Have you reached any of your 22 language goals? Y las respuestas son, and the answers are, yes, I have. No, I have not. I have not thought about it yet. Quizás no habías pensado sobre tus metas, entonces no tienes una respuesta. Esto también está bien. And the other is, I don't have any language goals. So that's also possible as well. ¿Qué más? ¿Qué más? Oh, yeah, déjame saber de dónde eres. Let me know where you're from. Yo soy de los Estados Unidos. ¿Y qué lo que? De Monte Brown. Thanks for coming. ¿Cómo has estado, manito? ¿Cómo has estado? Dime a ver, ¿qué hay de nuevo? Sí, todo bien por aquí, todo tranquilo. No me puede quejar. Y todavía estás subiendo videos. No he estado en tu canal por un ratico. ¿Verdad? You haven't reached any of your goals yet for this year? No has alcanzado ni una sola. Ah, todavía, ok. Perfecto. Todavía estás subiendo videos. Ok, yo tengo que ir ahí después de este live stream para ver qué estás subiendo. Pero platícame sobre tus metas. Aprendiendo coreano no es muy fácil. Ok. ¿Y cuándo empezaste a aprender Corea o coreano? ¿Cuándo empezaste? Y también me parece que coreano sería muy difícil en verdad. Por esa razón, con los idiomas de Asia, yo no los voy a tocar por mucho tiempo. ¿Cuándo empezaste? Empezar. Ajá. Oh, llevas unos años aprendiéndolo. Ok, qué chulo. ¿Y qué estás utilizando para estudiar? Libros, YouTube, podcast, música, K-pop. ¿Qué estás utilizando? Yo no creo que yo voy a tocar este idioma. Mi próximo idioma que voy a estudiar sería, yo creo, alemán, ojalá. De Montebronce llevo unos años aprendiendo y también yo sé leerlo y escribirlo, pero la gramática es lo que me cuesta. Ok, yo también con español. y aprendes el coreano como aprendí español, YouTube, libros, música. Ok, está bien. Sí, eso es lo que yo hago también para francés. I do the same thing with French. Entonces, como estoy utilizando como los mismos recursos para aprender mi segundo, oh no, mi tercer idioma para francés. Qué excelente. ¿Y por qué estudiando coreano es tan difícil? Bueno, la gramática. Y hay una similitud, o bueno, es la gramática similar a la gramática de español. And para todos los que están entrenando, I always have to like switch between English and Spanish. For those who are coming in, make sure that you answer the question in the chat here. Have you ever reached any of your 22 language goals? Yes, I have. No, I have not. I have not thought about it yet. I don't have any language goals. And then as well, dígame, tell me how long you've been studying. Well, actually, whichever language, not just Spanish. How long you've been studying languages for, and then also de dónde eres. ¿De dónde son ustedes? Where are you from? Yo soy de los Estados Unidos. Timothy Brown says, quiero aprender francés, pero me parece difícil. Yo también, porque es la verdad, es bien difícil, pero hay muchas similitudes, entonces no es tan difícil en esa manera. No es como el español. A veces depende, como hay muchos verbos que se parecen, muchos verbos. Por ejemplo, yo quiero como ver es ver. Es lo mismo, es el mismo verbo, la misma palabra. Por ejemplo, en español se lee como se habla, no, pero francés no es así, claro, sí, ajá, sí, eso, no sé cómo decirlo en español, pero en English, what is in English? Like a phonetic language? Yeah, so it's not a phonetic language at all. Tienes que cortar al fin de muchas palabras y sí, eso bien difícil. Entonces, también para mí ay Dios, la pronunciación, porque eso suena como más como francés también. Ion, 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 ion. Transportación en español francés es como transportación, casi lo mismo. Pero tienes que cortar muchas palabras. But yeah, you have to like cut off the endings of a lot of words, or a lot of words, because there's so many just letters you don't say for whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't like it at all. I mean, I know I like French. I don't like how like you said, it's not a phonetic language, so you can't just read it exactly how it looks. That's really annoying. So it does take a little bit more effort. But I would definitely say that there are a lot of similarities between French and Spanish. Of course, you have the genders, los géneros, casi son los mismos. Entonces, you have to, match what is it, the adjective to the noun, the genders, and then also the masculine and feminine as well. Masculino y femenino. So, like that part is fairly similar. Then there's also similar like words as well. Like I said, like with ver. I'm trying to remember like what other ones. Avoir, like beber, like to drink in Spanish, it's kind of similar to French. Like you can trick your mind like fairly easily because like some of the words are exactly the same, and other words like they look very similar, but they're not exactly the same. But you can trick your mind and be like, nah, that's just like the Spanish word. Demonte Brown, cómo haces para subir videos con tanta frecuencia? Demonte Brown asked me, how do I upload videos with so much frequency or with a lot of frequency? Yo diría que es todo está en la gestión de tiempo. It's all about, managing time well, basically. And I dedicate a lot of time to making videos and to my YouTube channel. So I dedicate, a lot of time, and it's a balancing act. Yo tengo que como tener un balance, con mi vida. Entonces, like every week, throughout this whole year that I've been, making videos and things like that, I've been getting better at making videos faster, editing faster, things like that, making ideas. So that's what's helped a lot. Con el tiempo mejores. Entonces, así, with time, I've been getting better, trying to figure out how to do things faster, how to organize my life a lot better, to support, making videos as well. So, como eso es lo que yo diría. Organizando mi vida. Y yeah, it's just a lot of dedication and just trying to figure out, where you when you have time to make videos. Es exactamente lo mismo con español. It's the same thing with, if I'm learning, French right now and I'm learning Spanish is, when do I have time to learn them? When do I have time to learn them? When can I watch YouTube videos? When can I write? When can I, practice speaking? I do the same exact thing with, my languages, trying to figure out when I have time for focus study time for these languages. Same thing with YouTube. When do I have time to, cuando tengo tiempo, cuando tengo tiempo para estudiar, cuando tengo tiempo para editar mis videos, cuando tengo tiempo para grabar. Entonces, esa es mi respuesta. Julian Monaco asks, hola, bro. Oh, no, this is ask. Soy el chico de Argentina. Ok, no sé si te acuerdas. Sí, claro que sí me acuerdo. Y bienvenidos. Te doy el bienvenido. Muchas gracias por venir otra vez. De Monterey Brown. ¿Cuál fue el motivo por el que empezaste el canal para compartir tu historia también y el proceso? Bueno, al principio, like at the beginning, like when I made my first video, I don't really remember why I made the first video, honestly. It's just, I'm really passionate about learning Spanish and I just like had something I wanted to share, I guess. I just had something that I wanted to share, with people, I suppose. I had no idea that it was going to grow. I had no idea if anybody was going to watch it, but it's just something that I wanted to share because I like talking about Spanish. And como desde que, dado que este video, este live stream is called Spanish Nerd Live Stream, I love everything about, language learning. So that's kind of how I started. But I will say, the first video I ever recorded for YouTube was actually in 2020. So I still have this video and it's never been uploaded. And I probably won't upload it. But I thought about making YouTube videos back in 2020. But the reason why I didn't start, or the reason why I didn't upload this video, was because I had no idea how to edit and I got really frustrated. So I just stopped. And then also in 20, I wanted to, I told my friend that I want to do a podcast in Spanish with him because he's como mitad americano y mitad venezolano. So he's half Venezuelan, half como americano, half American. So he speaks Spanish, back and forth. And I told him, hey man, we should make a podcast, about our city and talk about like the history and things like that. And that never came to fruition. So I think like those types of things, those kind of different little ventures, I would say, or ideas that I had back in 2020 is like a reason why I decided to, make this YouTube channel, and I've been sticking with it ever since. Demonte Brown, lately haven't been uploading a bunch of videos. I've been doing a lot of live streams allowing Spanish learners to come on and practice their Spanish skills and things of that nature. But I'm trying to get a study schedule and upload some videos and change my content a bit. I want to interview people, social experiments, and things of that nature, all in the Spanish language, though. Okay, suena bien. Está duro eso. Oh, yeah, for all those who don't know, the Monte Brown, he is also a YouTuber, Spanish YouTuber as well. So, yeah, me alegro para tenerlo acá. Annette says, I finally in the middle of this year, began to understand spoken Spanish more clearly, though I could read about 75% to 85% of it. Qué bueno. Me encanta oír esto. Is there a Spanish question for Annette? Hopefully I'm saying it correctly. Estoy pronunciándola bien, tu nombre. Pronunciándolo. I can't say this word for whatever reason. Pronunciar. It's like the say and the na together. It's so hard for me to say. Pronunciarlo. Okay. So, Annette, is there a specific Spanish accent or accent in Spanish language that you find more difficult to understand? But that's awesome. I love being able to read like 75, 85% of like an article or a book or anything or something like that because I love reading. If you ever notice, if you follow me like on Instagram or Twitter, then like you'll know. I always read. I try to read as much as possible. Demontre Brown says it's crazy. I found your channel looking for black people who speak black people who speak Spanish, and you came up. Hey, I made it. I was very excited because there's only so many of us black and Spanish creators. Yeah, claro que sí. Hay poco de nosotros. I only know so many. That's funny though. I thought about making a video like that. Making a video like, oh, black guy speaks perfect Spanish or something like that. But I'm like, I don't know if I would do all that. Okay, and that says el acento dominicano y puertorriqueño es lo que le hace difícil para comprender. Yeah, sí, yo también. Those accents are fairly difficult. For me, also the cubano. El acento cubano también me cuesta aprender. It's so funny though, because now I can like if there's like a room of like Dominicanos, Cubanos y puertorriqueños en el mismo lugar, yo puedo distinguir el acento inmediatamente. Like before, I used to think their accents were very similar, but their accents are fairly different. Their accents are fairly different. I love the Cuban accent. It always puts a smile on my face. I don't know why. It always makes me smile though. Monty Brown says, when I first started, it was hard to understand the Caribbean accent, but after a few years, I understand them better than any other accent. Okay. And that's the thing too, with like if you're a language learner, it's not like a como decimos en español, de día, no, de noche a día, como cambio así, no es así, de ninguna manera. Like I think sometimes, especially for me, like when I first started to like learn Spanish on my own and things like that, I would think that I would like be able to comprehend if I just repeat a song 5, 10 times in a row, or watch a Netflix show 4 times, and I would like automatically just comprehend everything. And that's not how it works. Sí, ok, de noche a la mañana. Sí, también yo había oído de la noche al día también. Que eso, bueno, los dos funcionan. De la noche a la mañana. But yeah, it takes time. It takes time to comprehend. It takes a lot of time. It's not just like I said, it's not just like a week of repeating the same thing over and over again, or even 2 weeks. This is like a months-long process, and also years. So I'm on my third year learning Spanish on my own, and I've been increasing my listening comprehension year after year. Like first, you kind of, depending on what kind of content that you're listening to, that has a big factor in it. Has a big factor in it as well. So if you're just listening to, like Spanish teachers, then you have to graduate from Spanish teachers, then you go to native content, but then you have to graduate from native content, so just listening to stuff online, to like speaking with Spanish speakers in person, and that's a different experience as well. Trying to talk to someone in person versus just listening to someone, native Spanish speaker, is also very different. All different experiences, and they like your listening comprehension is going to vary based off of those as well. So it's a challenge. Para decirlo lo menos, es un desafío. Dominican accent, my comprehension is getting a little bit better still, but that's been a mission. And then learning the slang of a country really helps out a lot, because you could have like a sentence in Spanish that's 50% slang, and you wouldn't even know what 50% of the sentence, like 50% of that sentence that they just said, because it's all slang words. So that's why it's kind of important to learn colloquial phrases and words of a particular country too. The Monty Brown, I always applaud you guys to start learning as an adult. I feel like if I'd be able to begin at the age that I'm currently 19, I think it would be so hard, honestly. Bueno, no tiene que ver con, yo diría, con la dificultad, pero más con la motivación y su dedicación a hacerlo y teniendo las ganas para empujarte siempre. It's really, I think it's only difficult. I mean, I would say I got serious when I turned 20, ay Dios, 22 años, 22-ish, whatever age it was. Like when I graduated college, that's when I got serious. I couldn't comprehend basically anything. I couldn't speak very well. So after I graduated college, that's when I started. So at 22 years old. So I guess, I still being adult. Like, for that, at that age, I mean, single, no kids, nothing like that. Plenty of time, plenty of time to study. So like it wasn't that difficult if you have like a lot of time. But I understand if you don't have a lot of time, then that can be, very, very challenging because that can, just take a lot longer versus someone who has all the time in the world to study. But it definitely just has to do with your mentality. That's literally probably 75% of the battle is dealing with your mentality, dealing with insecurities, trying to motivate yourself to study every single day, or not every single, depending on what your schedule is, and yeah, trying to keep going. And also getting past that intermediate plateau, which I just made a video about. But I'm gonna make another video. No, I already made another video about that, how I overcame it. But I'm gonna come out with a third video about my actual opinion of the intermediate plateau because I actually don't think it exists. So that'll be an interesting video that I hope people will like. Tomás de Brown, ¿prefieres estudiar con un libro o hablar con gente? Los dos, las dos cosas. I can't say like one is better than the other, or I can't say I prefer one or the other. I like doing both. I love to read. Then I also love to speak with Spanish speakers as well. Me encanta los dos. Como yo no puedo, por ejemplo, yo no podría elegir entre los dos. Por ejemplo, yo tengo libros aquí mismo, yo tengo libros. Corazón blanco. I still haven't finished this book yet. I'm at page 151, 151 páginas. Y en total este libro tiene 314. Ay Dios, ¿qué se trata el libro? I don't want to spoil it. And honestly, I don't understand everything. I'm not taking too many notes. ¿Qué se trata este libro? Bueno, se trata de un traductor, en verdad. Y también hay un homicidio también que pasó en este libro. Pero aparte de eso, es un poco difícil. Like, I can't explain everything that's happening because I'm still confused on what's happening. That's kind of what happens for me. It takes a very long time for me to understand what's going on in the book. Like I just realized that this one word is actually a name. So this one word is custardoi. And apparently in this book, that is a name. I had no idea what that was until I looked it up. And until I actually realized that it was a person. And this book is written by a Spanish author, por un autor español. So maybe that has something to do with it. But yeah, I've never heard this name before in Spanish. But it's very interesting. Sí, pero para responder a tu pregunta, bueno, los dos, me encantan los dos. Yo no puedo distinguir, me encantan los dos. Los dos son buenos para mejorar tu forma de comprender los hispanohablantes y también tu forma de hablar como nativo. So the book, as far as de que se trata el libro, hopefully when I finish, I'll have more understanding of it. But also right now what I'm doing with this book is I'm not like beforehand, what I would do is a lot of analysis, like deep analysis. Like it would take me, 15, 20 minutes just to get like 3 pages finished, just because I would take a whole bunch of notes and stuff like that. But right now I don't have that much time and it's taking way too long. So right now I'm just kind of reading it as fast as I can and not taking many notes besides just writing down adjectives. So it might take me a little bit to actually comprehend what's going on. AEAEO, good to see you here again. Muchas gracias por venir. Depending the monthly round. Oh wait. Oh, Annette says Spanish people speak so fast. It depends. Some do, some kind of don't. Pero también depende, porque todo está en la perspectiva. Ay Dios. En la perspectiva de la persona. So like if you're an English speaker, then an English speaker. If you're an English speaker, then it's kind of hard to say like it's kind of hard to say if a Spanish speaker is speaking fast, because it's a different language. So it's not the same language as English. So they just have different velocities in general, if that makes sense. But some, I would say they kind of do speak very fast. Like my Cuban friends, mis amigos cubanos, hablan muy rapidísimo. I don't understand barely anything that my Cuban friends are saying. The multi-run says depending on the country, dependiendo del país. Some can speak at normal speed. How long he have learned Spanish for? Annette, how long you learned Spanish for? I want to say like in not just like depending on the Spanish speaking country, right? But within the country, because there's so many different accents. There's so many different accents even within a country, different cities, they speak differently. Like it all depends. Age, whether they're a child, whether they're an adult, like an elderly person. There's a lot of factors into it. Everybody speaks different. Everybody speaks differently. Manu Guerrero, ¿cómo estás? Tanto tiempo, es verdad. Tanto tiempo. ¿Cómo has estado? ¿Qué pedo? ¿Qué pedo? And Annette says at 12 in school, but seriously this year. Que bueno. Saludo. All right, let's see here. We have 6 votes so far for have you reached any of your 22 language goals? We have 50%. We have 50% for yes, I have. And then we have 33%, 33%, no, I have not. And then 17%, 17% for I have not thought about it yet. Sandra A says, ¿prefieres el español de Latinoamérica o el castellano? Bueno, esa pregunta me parece difícil para responder también porque literalmente este año mismo yo empecé a aprender de todo lo que tiene que ver con España y su forma de hablar. Entonces estoy en el comienzo de este camino aprendiendo todo lo que tiene que ver con España y este acento. Entonces, como me acostumbro más a los acentos de Latinoamérica y también de su cultura, su forma de vivir y todo eso, entonces me siento más cómodo con los acentos y la cultura de Latinoamérica solamente por costumbre y también por la cercanía también, pero por esa razón yo diría que yo prefiero el español de Latinoamérica, porque hay varios acentos, como ya sabes. Y bueno, quizás vamos a ver el próximo año cómo me siento sobre esa pregunta. Pero me gusta el acento castellano, es diferente, yo diría, es muy, muy diferente. Bueno, pero eso es donde provino, algo así, provino español. Entonces, por eso me llama la atención aprender de la cultura y también de su forma de hablar, porque eso es donde empezó todo, de español. Annette, the amount that they did 6 years in school, and after that, Manu, muy bien, veo que estás con tu español a tope, lo estás haciendo genial, muchas gracias, hermano. Poco a poquito. Timothy Brown, qué bueno que no te desanimes al estar con tus amigos cubanos y no poder entender casi nada. Te aplaudo. Claro, eso fue un riesgo. Me arriesgo mucho para empezar la conversación. Because the first time that I met my Cuban friends, or before they were my Cuban friends, I met them in the gym. And I heard them and I was like, where the heck are they from? Because before this year, like before like 3 months ago, I've never met any Cubans before. Well, maybe I met them, but like we didn't speak English or we didn't speak Spanish together, nothing like that. Like I probably just heard them speak English, but for the most part, I've never heard like Cubans speak Spanish. So it's the first time I ever heard Cubans speak Spanish. I had no idea what they were saying, but I still went up to them and I asked them like, "Oh, ¿de dónde son ustedes?" And then we, como empezamos una conversación en el gimnasio así, hablando de nuestras raíces y todo eso, y como decimos en inglés, el resto es la historia. Pero sí es duro. Like it makes me very uncomfortable. It makes me very uncomfortable when I I'm supposedly I'm supposed to be like a fluent Spanish speaker and things like that, blah blah blah. But there's still many moments where I can be in a conversation with Spanish speakers and I don't understand anything still. So those moments are very very strange, muy extraños. Estos momentos, para decirlo menos. Y Annette, bueno, también, también yo diría que sí, me desanimó, me desanimó y también como me siento muy incómodo, muchas inseguridades me llegan, en verdad, durante esos momentos, pero like I just try to stay there and not get too frustrated, but it's difficult to say the least. Especially if I'm like when I met more of like when I met more Cubans, so like through my first Cuban friends, and then I met like five more. So there's like a group of like 10 Cubans, and they're just like chatting away. I'm just sitting, just kind of quietly, silencioso, con mi boca cerrada, not saying anything, because like I can't, like I don't know how to respond really, because like I for like if I'm talking with my Cuban friends, I can only respond like I'm not como no voy a hablar como así, como con ese acento más fluido, con más estilo, todo eso. Like I'm gonna talk more with my neutral accent because I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing. Like I feel like I have to match like their energy. I have to match the way that they sound with their accent and things like that. But I just can't, especially not their velocity. So that's where that sucks. I had to speak very slow, speak really slow. So hopefully they can like respond back to me kind of slowly. But usually it's just like, nah, they talk very fast. O también como mi otro amigo siempre me diga que, oh, mira, tenemos que cambiar al inglés porque no te entiende. No te entiendes, tenemos que cambiar al inglés. Siempre te digo, no, 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 está bien. Podemos continuar hablando en español, no, no problema. Me da mucha vergüenza, mucha vergüenza. Quite embarrassing, to say the least. All right, let me know in the chat. Déjame ver. Temas de Ron sí, es bien normal. Es normal que no lo entiendo todo, claro. Si estuvieras tu primera vez frente de alguien nuevo así, un nuevo acento, nueva cultura, todo es nuevo. Los amigos saben que no lo entiendes todo. Claro que sí, porque mi cara es así como, eso no, yeah, they know. They know my face, and they also know by the way I respond. If I don't respond to them, they know exactly como en ese momento que yo no entiendo nada. Pero te pregunto, los amigos saben que no entiendes todo. De vez en cuando te traducen las cosas para ayudarte a aprender tanto. Bueno, no traduzca mucho porque uno de mis amigos cubanos no sabe mucho de inglés. Entonces no hay forma de traducir la palabra. Pero otro, claro, como los otros hablan español e inglés como fluidamente y todo esto, entonces, pero no, si no traducimos muchísimo, but it depends. Like we speak, Spanglish usually, so we go back and forth. Luggage Fit, brother, un placer. Te conocí en el Challenge 1K. Oh, qué bueno, qué excelente, muy bien contenido. Muchas gracias. Ay, Dios. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias por venir. Thanks for coming and thank you for el cumplido, for the compliment. That's really good to hear. I haven't watched all the videos of the 1K challenge either. I think I watched only one video. Desafortunadamente. I watched one video. The rest of them I haven't been able to watch because like last week was really busy. I didn't really. I think only attended like one live stream too. I was trying to connect with more people, but it was just I had such a busy week. I couldn't attend. Yo para mí yo prefiero usar vos y todas sus conjugaciones todavía ahora usar ellos o ustedes para vos me he confundido. Ok. Luggage Fit, gracias a la orden. Nosotros estamos por aquí, por Nueva Jersey, Arella. Ok, ok, perfecto. Hey, yo, you like to use vos, like the vosotros form, vosotros, like that. Pero qué bueno que tengan paciencia contigo. Claro, así son los latinos. Los latinos son muy pacientes. Como cada una que yo conozca, siempre tiene mucha paciencia conmigo. Porque si fuera yo sintiera como si estuviera estorbando. Depende de la persona también. I think like depends on the person too who you're talking with. May not have that much patience. But I mean, I guess it just depends. Yeah, like some of my friends, they're still learning English, so like they love to have this conversation about learning languages and you know translating between the different languages. What does this word mean? What does that word mean? So like it's kind of like a little ego interaction. But other ones, we don't have that type of conversation about languages. We just talk in Spanish or Spanglish about whatever. We don't necessarily talk about language learning and stuff like that. De Monte Brown, te admito, no sé usar vosotros, ni vos, ni nada de eso. Mi familia no habla así. I know a little bit. I don't know how to conjugate everything. I mean, two is just like, or vos is just two. Two is just vos. But I don't know how to conjugate all the endings of all the words of the pronunciation. Like I know like pensar and the two form would be pensáis. And what else? Pensáis o uberáis, yo creo también. Uberáis, algo así. Como estáis. I like saying that. It's funny. It should be an accent though. I think over the I. Como estáis. Como estáis, tío. Yeah, it's different. And then like tú is like vos, tú is vos. It'll be like cómo estáis vos, o algo así. Or y vos, y tú, y vos. I'm learning little by little. Cause that's the stuff like when I was in, I think like college and Spanish, I'm like, I'm never learning this ever. I'm like, this is dumb. It's almost like calculus. It's just like, that's not necessary. That's just too much extra work. All right, who else is learning the Castilian accent? El acento de España. ¿Quién más? ¿Quién más aquí? Who else is learning the Castilian accent? Or Castellano, the Spanish spoken in Spain? Because they don't say español. Aparentemente, eso es lo que me enseñó este año. What they taught me, or what I was taught this year, is that they don't say Spanish, they don't say español, they say castellano. So, no es español ahí. En España se dice, le llaman castellano. Castellano. Castellano y cosa español. Ahí. Claro, sí, yo tengo ganas de ir a conocer España. ¿Cuál país que habla español? Me voy ahí. Devontae Brown asks if I have a desire to know Spain. And I love this. I love this form of know. It's like conocer. Conocer is like just like a deep, like having like a deeper knowledge of a particular place. In this case, conocer. Not as like saber. No saber. Quieres saber de. No, yo no quiero saber. Yo quiero conocerlo. Yo quiero conocer este país. Pero sí, yo tengo ganas para conocer España. ¿Qué tal Panamá? También Panamá. En verdad, yo tengo una amiga Panamania. I don't know how do you say that in Spanish? But I have a friend from Panama. No, I have two friends from Panama. No, one friend from Panama, and I've met a few other people from Panama in the discoteca for like the first time. Panameña, okay. Yo tengo una amiga panameña. I'm trying to think. There's someone. I met a few people from Panama, and como hace el año pasado, yo conocí unos panameños. Claro que sí, yo sé, yo soy panameño, pero nunca he ido a visitar. Wait, nunca has visitado ahí. You never been there before. Espero ir bien pronto. I heard it's very beautiful. Oh, wait. Yeah, she's from Panama too. Okay, yeah, no, I met another girl from there the beginning of I think this year, the end of last year. The end of last year, I met another girl from Panama también. Y ella me estaba explicando todo lo que tiene que ver con el canal de Panamá y la historia entre Panamá y los Estados Unidos y todo eso fue muy interesante para mí. Me llama la atención. Hay mucha historia, a lot of history. Has anyone been to Panama before? Panama? Let me know in the chat if you have. Let me know if you have visited Panama before. Si el canal juega un papel muy importante en la historia, claro que sí. Demonte Brown says the canal plays a big important role in history. The Panama Canal. Though I remember learning about that a little bit of like the history in my history classes, like in high school, but I like forgot all of it though. I just know like they more than likely, or at least back in the day, taught at least a little bit about it in like American history, or like American classes, I suppose. The Panama Canal. In English is canal. Yeah, canal. Actually, I don't even know. No, channel. I can't speak right now. Hold on. Let me. What is it in English? The Panama. Okay, it's canal. But in English, it's canal. Canal. Pero en español sería canal. El canal de Panamá. De Brown, lo que me molesta es que la gente por donde yo vivo no sabe nada de Panamá ni del canal. Pero como en los Estados Unidos, ¿verdad? ¿En dónde vives acá? ¿Pero por qué? En Texas, ok. Pero ¿por qué crees que toda la gente sabría de esa historia? I mean, that's something like very specific, you know. Not everybody would know that. I don't even remember any of that from my classes, that's for sure. I definitely didn't search anything about it like afterwards either. In Texas. Who else? Where I live in Kissimmee, Florida. I have never heard of that city name before, actually. Florida, about 75 to 80% of the people speak Spanish. Oh, wow. From almost all over Americas, not to mention almost all the businesses are Spanish. Oh, that's dope. Or que chulo, que chévere. Que chulo, que chévere. Que padre. De Monterey Brown, no es que sepan de la historia como tal, pero estoy seguro de que lo han mencionado en la escuela, por ejemplo. Ah, ok. Claro, en la escuela un poquito, pero no es tanto, quizás no sé. Además, hay poca gente que le encanta aprender sobre la historia en general, ¿me entiendes? Es algo que tiene que llamar la atención a una persona. Yo, por ejemplo, me encanta aprender todo lo que tiene que ver con la historia, historia de varios países, historia de los tiempos antiguos y todo eso, pero hay otra gente que odio este tópico en la escuela. No le encanta, no le encanta la historia de ninguna manera. Pero tú y yo, quizás somos diferentes. Annette, Kissing Me is a major city of Disney. Oh, I should probably know that, huh? You debería saber esto. I should probably know that. I mean, maybe I've heard it before, but yeah, I don't live in Florida. I don't know anybody in Florida, so I don't keep track of Florida like that. Ah, asignatura. Sí, esa palabra no había oído hace tanto tiempo. Timothy Brown, ¿cuál fue la asignatura que te que te llamó más la atención en el colegio? Near Orlando, and that says, okay, near Orlando. Yeah, I never go to Florida, so I wouldn't know. No tengo ni idea. Pero qué interesante. Do you have conversations with like all the Spanish speakers there in your city, Annette? Y qué más? And then the Monte de Brown asks, what was your favorite subject in a colegio? Mi asignatura, la asignatura que más me llama la atención en el colegio fue la historia. La historia y también, déjame pensar por un minuto. Quizás arte también. El arte y el arte, el arte y la historia son las asignaturas que más me llamaron la atención en el colegio. ¿Y las tuyas? ¿Cuál fueron las tuyas? Annette says, yes, you have to. That's kind of how it is in some places in Texas. Like some places in Texas, there's a lot of Spanish speakers, and a lot of like whatever store that you go into, there's going to be a lot of Spanish speakers as well, which is a good thing. Inglés de ninguna manera. De Monte Brown me diga, yo pensé que ibas a decir inglés, pero el hecho de que te gusta mucho leer, me encanta el inglés, me gusta escribir. No, yo odia la asignatura inglés because I was bad at it. I was terrible at English. I hated my English classes. I was terrible at it. I hated doing English grammar. I was terrible at it. It's probably like, yeah, I did very poorly in my English classes as well, so I didn't like it. I did not care about learning about commas, learning about all these different grammar rules of English. I did not care. So I did very bad in my English classes. I'm not, yeah, so I like to read, but English classes, we weren't really reading like that. We were mostly writing from what I remember. We did a lot of writing, not much reading. Most of the reading I did was mostly on my own. But yeah, learning English versus just reading it, it's a little, I don't know, I guess slightly different. But yeah, I did not like English in school at all. And it also made me very, me hizo sentir, me puso muy incómodo también, because like my writing abilities were very, very weak, because I never studied. I never studied. I didn't really study that much in my classes. Didn't study for tests. I didn't care about understanding, like I said, the grammar. I didn't try to learn that much. So like my writing suffered throughout the years. So my writing was really bad throughout high school, even like through university. My writing not the best, like when it comes to grammar. And we didn't have to use like really proper grammar in my college classes, porque en la universidad yo tomé clases de economía, and the way that like economists write is just it's so different from like formal English writing. Like when you're writing in like an economics paper or something like that, you make sentences as long as possible, and you just keep explaining things over and over again. Like it doesn't, like the grammar just it's just not really present. Demonte Brown, si tuviera la oportunidad de haber nacido en cualquier país del mundo, ¿cuál sería y por qué? Wow, qué buena pregunta. So Demonte Brown asked me if I had the opportunity to be in, or to be born in whichever country in the world, which one would I be in y por qué and why? Buena pregunta. Nadie me había preguntado eso antes. Un país, quizá definitivamente sería un país en la de habla hispana, por supuesto, porque yo soy amante de español. Y bueno, yo no conozco muchos países aparte de México y la República Dominicana por mis viajes, entonces sería entre esos dos países. Bueno, quizás en ese sentido yo escogería, ay, qué difícil la selección. Yo diría México solo por el tamaño del país. So I would select Mexico, to be born in Mexico, because of how like large the country is, and it's a Spanish-speaking country, and I love speaking Spanish, and I love Latino culture. I love Latin American culture, so I would love to be born there. So yeah, be born speaking Spanish. That'd be absolutely amazing. That's one big reason, and then like traveling like throughout Mexico, si fuera posible, traveling through Mexico. I never realized how diverse Mexico was until I actually went there, started to learn more about the country, and talk to my Mexican friends and things like that. So I used to think like all Mexico was just like, just one country, everything was exactly the same, all the accents were the same, the food same, things like that. But no, like Mexico is very diverse, and también por la historia there as well. A lot of history there too. So yeah, like for those reasons, I would say I would love to be born, if I had the opportunity to be born in Mexico, in Mexico. Claro que sí, pero dependiendo si tuviera que aprender inglés. And that's it. But then English would be a hard language for you to learn. It may be difficult, possibly. Yes, quizás sí, quizás no. Quizás sí, quizás no. That's also a song. Quizás sí, quizás no. ¿Quién eres tú? But I mean, things, life is challenging. So if that's the only sacrifice that I have to make, then, está bien. I'll still do it. Let me be born in Mexico. That's fine. Y la misma pregunta para ti, Demontre. The same question for you. Actually, everybody in the chat. That's a good question for everybody. If you could be born in any country in the world, what country would you choose to be born in? Or yeah, to be born in. So going backwards in time, back in time. If you had the opportunity. AAO says, probablemente para mí México también por la comida, parece tenemos buena comida. Claro que sí, es rica ahí. Oh man. So AAO says, before I get started, probably for me, Mexico, also because of the food. Don't get me started talking about Mexican food. Seems to have really good food. So when I was talking with my ITALKI tutor, I think like a few months, maybe like a month ago, something like that, we were talking about traditional foods in Mexico, which I also uploaded to video. But one food or like one like traditional food, I guess. Not, I mean, not necessarily like traditional, depending on the city. They eat they eat ant eggs. That was very interesting. Déjame ver, déjame buscarlo. Escamoles, no, escamoles. Sí, escamoles. Los huevos de los hormigas. I guess it could be, yeah, I never heard this before. Escamoles. You should look it up. But yeah, in some places in Mexico, they literally eat ant ant eggs. And then I asked my tutor, I'm like, well, like, do they just sit around and wait for ants? I mean, where did they get these eggs from? First of all, how did they come up with this idea that that we're going to eat ant ant eggs? And number two, how did they find them? So that was an interesting question as well. The Monte Brown says, yo diría Panamá, porque porque no soy, o Inglaterra por acento de y la gente. Me parece de buena onda. Ok, qué padre. Yeah, I like British and English, or British and English accents. I don't know the difference between British and English as yet. Do I? No, I forgot. But yeah, I think their accents are really funny. And they have they have a few different accents there as well. In England. But I can't really imitate their accents though. That's one thing I can't really do. Except for but what, I can do that one. That one's pretty easy. But what? And then but what? I like the way they just cut off a lot of words too, or letters rather. But what? But what? I don't know where like bruv came from. I have no idea how when they started using that word. Annette, how about you? What country would you prefer to be born in if you had the opportunity? Trinidad. Okay. I know a few people from Trinidad. It seems fun. They seem like very lively people. Demonte Brown, oh wow. Trinidad, I have family from Jamaica. Okay. Tiene familia de todos lados. Also, let me know what's one big language goal that you have had this year to accomplish? What's one big language goal that you've had this year to accomplish? I've never been to Trinidad, and I also don't know anything from Trinidad either. Hey, yo, me encanta ser africano, no quiero cambiarlo. Qué excelente. Me encanta esta respuesta. Pero, is there country? Estamos hablando de países. Hay un país en África específicamente en donde desarrollas, en donde quisiste haber nacido. ¿En qué quisiste haber nacido? Entonces, mis bisabuelos nacieron en Jamaica y fueron a Panamá a ayudar a construir el canal. Oh, wow. Qué historia tan llamativa. So the mother brown says, oh, Annette, hold on, let me go back. Let me translate. AEO says, I love to be African, and I don't want to change that. And that says, her big language goal for 2022 is to be fluent in Spanish. I like that. Demonte Brown says, my great grandparents were born in Jamaica and they went to Panama to help construct the canal. El Canal de Panama. And Annette, how close would you say you are to being fluent in Spanish? How close are you? And how do you know? ¿Y cómo sabes? Déjame saber esto. Oh yeah. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure that you do that, and also like ideos. Dar gusto a mis videos. Like my videos as well. If you're watching them, if you like them, leave comments and things like that, so I know that if they're good or bad, whatever kind of feedback that you have, I would love to know and read your comments on my videos, and also share my videos as well. Make sure you do that. Share my videos on your Instagram, your Twitter, your Facebook, wherever. Spread the word. Spread the word. Trying to grow this channel up a little bit. Timothy Brown, quiero aprender un idioma africano, no sé cuál. Y mi meta en cuanto a los idiomas, quiero por lo menos tener una conversación en coreano sin equivocarme. Qué bueno. So Timothy Brown says, I want to learn an African language. I don't know which one. And my goal in regards to languages is to at least be able to have a conversation in Korean without making a mistake. Something like that. I always forget how to translate that. Ikibugarme. Without something like that, without making a mistake or without messing up. Algo así. And that says some of my ancestors spoke Spanish till 1793. Wow. And then the English took over. Trinidad. Wow. Okay, tu familia es de Trinidad entonces. Your family is from Trinidad? AEO says, realmente no me molesta si yo nací acá en Estados Unidos. Ok. Sí, no es tan malo aquí. No es tan malo acá. Demonte Brown corrected without making mistakes. It's just like comete errores. Sí. It's just like it doesn't. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out if there's like an exact translation. I don't know if there is really. Yeah, I can't think of one right now. I know there's like another word I can use. I don't want to mess up something like that. Yeah, I think there's like an exact. I don't know if there's like an exact or like a perfect translation to it, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Translation is really hard for me. Very, very difficult. No soy bueno en eso. So I don't think I could be like a Spanish interpreter. Oh, great. Now we have 8 votes for our question. Have you reached any of your 22 language goals? 50%. Yes, I have. 50%. Yes, I have. 38%. 30% we have. No, I have not. And then 12%. 12% we have. I have not thought about it yet. Yes, that doesn't happen to me. The Monte Brown asks, anyone else have the problem with your English being bad due to learning another language? I find it hard to express myself when speaking English due to Spanish. Yep, that's definitely me. If you've noticed already in this live stream, I've already messed up a lot, especially when I'm trying to translate in between both languages. That for me is difficult because if I'm focusing really hard, like like I kind of am right now, trying to focus really hard when I'm speaking English, and then I have like a hard shift, like a second later to Spanish. That's like very difficult for me to do. Then my English gets all messed up. Or like, oh yeah, like beforehand, we were just talking about like canal, and I thought it was like channel, or I couldn't pronounce it correctly. I was like, is it canal or is it canal? But it's canal. No, it's canal. Yeah, it's the Panama Canal, but it's muy parecido a canal, but no es lo mismo. Complicated question, Annette. Complicated question. Reading up to 80%. Okay, reading up to 80%, spoken 35%, listen 35%, sometimes 75%. Okay. Good to know. I've never broken it down like that before. That's a good idea. I'm definitely trying to increase I'm always trying to increase all those skills. Listening, reading comprehension, listening, reading, speaking, writing skills. It's always an uphill battle. For whatever reason, one of my big goals this year was to translate. Oh, where's it at? To translate. Oh, that's not it. Was to translate a 1 hour conversation, translate a 1 hour Spanish English conversation, and I definitely gave up on that goal. Like in the beginning of this year, I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. And by translate, I mean to say interpret because those two are actually different. Because interpreting is like interpreting speech, spoken Spanish or English or whatever language, and then translation is translating the written language. So I wanted to interpret in between Spanish and English for a 1 hour conversation, and I definitely cannot do that. I gave up on that. I gave up on that so fast. It's difficult. There's so much vocabulary that you have to know to be like an interpreter, and I didn't realize that until this year. I'm like, oh, there's a lot of words I don't know, so I can't really interpret this conversation. Not really. AEAO, no sé lo que es mi meta en mi viajar español. Solo quiero entender mejor. Okay. Demo. So AEO says I don't know what is my goal in my Spanish journey. I just want to understand better. Okay. Not bad. De Montebron asks, ¿Tienes libro de vocabulario? What do you mean by vocabulary books? I actually don't know what that is. The only really instructional Spanish books that I have is this one, the Spanish verb book. This is really the only vocabulary book per se that I have. Other than that, I have a Spanish grammar book, and the rest are just regular books. So not really, I guess, depending on what you mean by a vocab book, I guess. And yeah, make sure that you check the description box of this video because of the live stream, because I have like a few different reading resources if you like reading, or if you need like a Spanish grammar book, a dictionary, or a Spanish verb book that you can buy off of Amazon with my affiliate links. So yeah, if you have any desire for those types of things, I have short stories in Spanish as well. I think 2 other books that I've read, La Mala Hora, then also I have Corazón tan blanco linked in the description box as well. And then also my buy me a coffee. No, two other things. 2 of the links in the description box are one for iTalki lessons, so you can get a discount for iTalki lessons, and then another link for donando dinero, donating money to support my channel. You can do that using my Buy Me a Coffee page. So I just made that recently, so you can do that if you want to support my content. That's also in the description box. So make sure you check that out. See all the different resources that are down below. And see, Annette says, my great grandparents were from Venezuela. Okay. Is 5 miles. You know what? I'm really happy that you said that because I had no idea how close Trinidad was to Venezuela. I had no idea. Let me look at the map. So you're saying it's close to Venezuela. It is right. Venezuela's right there. And it's okay. Yeah, I had no idea it was that close. Venezuela's 5 miles from Trinidad. That's really good to know. AE. Oh, justo listo de vocabularios. Listo de vocabularios en español. Claro que sí. Yeah, I have like a lot of lists. I have like many lists that I've created for myself of vocabulary in Spanish. I have those a lot. Do I have it right here? Yeah. So like in this notebook, for example, I just started writing, or I have like a lot of words that I write down from my iTalki lessons. It's like I have a whole bunch of phrases and words that my iTalki tutor says. You won't be able to read it because it's like flipped. And then I also, in this particular one, I started writing down a lot of adjectives because I want to be more detailed when I speak Spanish. So I started to write down a lot of adjectives from the books that I'm reading. For example, afectuosamente. I like that one a lot. Fictioso, razonable, infalible, irreversible, luminosa, vulnerable, dolosamente, obsceno. I really like that one. Obsceno, bronco, ronco, abordado, improbable, espontáneo, ridícula, inevitablemente, y abundante. So that's just one. That's just one list. But then my other notebook, I have a whole bunch of different like words and phrases in Spanish. But then I also have, let me see, a lot of other like Spanish grammar rules and things like that. Usually, what I do with my notebooks is I break them out into different sections by topic. So I have like words and phrases that are dedicated for cooking, words and phrases that are dedicated to like gym vocabulary, and the same thing with like movies and things like that. So that's usually what I do. Okay. Demonte Brown says, Te recomiendo un libro. I recommend you a book, Mastery Spanish Vocabulary. Es del color amarillo, es muy útil. Okay, déjame ver. Déjame buscarlo. Mastering Spanish Vocabulary. Have I heard this before? Have I seen it before? Let's see. What is it about? A thematic approach. The Spanish word presents more than 500 words or phrases with translation to English. This vocabulary book to see the words divided into themes. Is it like a dictionary? Because if it's like a dictionary, then I have a dictionary. Where's my okay, I don't have my other book. I have a business manual, just like this thick, that just has a whole bunch of like paragraphs of all different types of business forms of communication. I bought that one. That's on my bookshelf though. But yeah, I'll check out this book later. Themes. Then I guess I also have a travel journal, like Spanish travel journal too. Annette, my grandfather spoke English peppered with Spanish. Okay. Do they speak any other languages in Trinidad? What other languages do they speak there? The Monte Brown, the vocabulary books helps to build more vocabulary, and they are put into sections. And there are words that are so important, but we don't think of until we put into the situation itself. Sí, eso es lo que yo digo siempre. Claro que sí, yo tengo en Instagram con lo mismo nombre de mi canal. Y yo tengo que enchufar mi computadora porque está quitando la batería. So my Instagram, and if anybody else does not follow me on Instagram, make sure that you follow me on the gram. So it should just be Spanish blueprints, I think. Yeah, if you just look up Spanish blueprints, you should be able to find me pretty easily. I don't think I have my phone. Nope, I don't know where it is right now. But yeah, if you look up Spanish blueprints, you should be able to find it pretty easily. Then you can send it to me and I'll see. Pero no, okay, es como un diccionario, pero no es un diccionario como tal. Está buena, está buena. And this is Venezuela. I just met, yeah, I met some Venezuelans at the discoteca como hace 2 o 3 semanas también. And I like their accent. Their accent is really interesting. I even met Venezuelans when I went to Dominican Republic. There's even Venezuelans there too. I met 2 Venezuelans there, like 2 or 3 Venezuelans when I went to the Dominican Republic as well. That was kind of interesting. Te mandé Brown. Bueno, te voy a mandar un DM y enseñarte más o menos cómo es el libro antes de que te lo compre. Ok, suena bien para mí. Dámelo. Yeah, like a lot of vocabulary that I learned these days, yeah, it's really just from everything that I consume. So from books, like I said, right now, I write down a lot of the stuff that I read from books, and with my Spanish speaking friends, I try to take notes sometimes, not like notes, but try to remember some words and put them in my like notepad in my phone, whatever it's called, iNotes, whatever it's called. I think iNotes, something like that. When I'm having conversations with my friends or TV shows, just always write down what you hear. If it's something new, write it down so you can keep it for later. Like you don't have to study it right now. You don't have to study it, next month or even the next few months, but just down the line, whenever you have time, you can always come back to it. So I like having just like a whole bunch of different words and phrases that I have, that are available to me, because that's really how you become more of an advanced learner. Always increasing the amount of vocabulary that you know. That's what I would say. So I love being able to use new words and phrases. I love doing that because there's so many different ways that you can say things, so many different ways that you can, create different sentences and things like that. So me encanta experimentar con mi forma de hablar. So instead of saying stuff like, "Oh, ¿Te gustaría ir al mercado? Y voy a decir algo como, qué te parece si vamos para el supermercado? O sí, ¿qué te parece? ¿Qué más podemos hacer? ¿Deseas irnos al mercado, al supermercado? Oh, ¿qué más? Hay otra cosa también. Ay, ok, tenemos quisieras, te gustaría, ¿qué te parece? Great question. Demonte Brown asks, ¿cuál es tu meta con el canal? Llegar a los 100,000. By 100,000, he means 100,000 subscribers. So that's a good question. I have multiple goals of this channel. One of them, I really want to, give all of y'all a lot of, advice, encouragement, for learning Spanish, learning languages in general. Yeah, so I want you to be way better than I am if you aren't already, to have everything that I never had, or the mentality that I never had beforehand, and things like that, to be successful as a language learner, and to be also for you to be able to use your Spanish goals as well. That's something I really want to like have some interviews, something like that in the future, with some business professionals, with language business professionals, so you can really see the potential of learning Spanish, as far as like what you can do with the Spanish language, not just learning it for fun, but being able to use it for jobs and helping people and things like that. So I that's kind of like what I really want. I want you to be not just I want you to have fun learning Spanish. I want you to be able to learn it very well, but then also I want you to be able to use it. That's going to help better your life. So with jobs and things like that, that's a big goal of mine. And then also, like you talking about subscribers, I want to get at least 10,000 subscribers by the end of next year. So that's probably like the biggest goal that I have for this channel. Yeah, I definitely want 10,000 subscribers by the end of next year. So I just have to figure out how to do that. So we'll see how that goes. I hope I can get that. It's going to take a lot of work and things like that, but yeah. Estoy muy agradecido para tener todos los suscriptores que ya tengo. Hoy mismo, vamos a ver qué sucederá en el futuro. Yeah, then I just want to keep making videos. I definitely want to make continue to make more videos. Put out as much content as possible. I want to do more interviews and stuff like that. More interviews with native Spanish speakers. Pero para tener ese tipo de videos, ¿sabe lo que tengo que hacer? Yo por mí mismo, yo tengo que uh, aceptar todas mis inseguridades y hablar con los nativos, pero con todos mis errores. So I have to put myself out there, if I'm speaking Spanish with native Spanish speakers, right? I have to speak with all of my error, with my mistakes, with all my pronunciation mistakes. And that really just irritates me. Me pone muy irritado. So that's probably like the biggest hurdle that I have right now is, making these types of videos, is, getting over myself, not having fear, making mistakes, and then, putting that out to the public. Cause that's probably one of my biggest fears right now is, people criticizing me, or people correcting me. Cause like when I post stuff on Instagram and TikTok or like Twitter or something like that, I do have like like a few like native Spanish speakers who do correct me a lot, and that makes me very muy incómodo. So for me, it's like kind of is getting over that. Yeah, that's hard. That's the hardest part. It's putting myself out there in the public, and not being perfect. So that's kind of like one of the main reasons why I haven't really been making too many of those videos, because I have to overcome that fear, overcome that fear of making mistakes. Like I still struggle with that. I struggle with that a lot because I don't like making mistakes. But yeah, it happens, of course. But those are my biggest goals. Hey, yo, me he sorprendido, no tienes llegar a 1,000 aún. Yeah, it takes time. I mean, for me, so AEO says, I'm surprised that you haven't, reached like 1,000 subscribers yet. Yeah, it just kind of depends, For como para mí, creando videos y, siendo como un YouTuber, como casi un YouTuber o lo que sea, es una nueva experiencia para mí y no se trata de solamente grabando videos, pero editando videos y también pensando en nuevas ideas para crear cada un video, y pensando en el futuro y, y teniendo colaboraciones como ahora mismo en Livestream, conectando con la gente. Entonces, es una mezcla de habilidades que necesitas hacer para, para ser muy exitoso in YouTube. So like, yeah, YouTube is a lot of different things like that I've been learning throughout this year. Because I never knew that never knew anything about YouTube as far as being a creator and things like that when I first started. So that's why more than likely it's taking me this long because I have no idea what I'm doing. But little after little, or como con tiempo, with time, I'm starting to learn more about YouTube. Learning what works, learning what doesn't work, and things like that. So entonces sí, just like learning Spanish, everything takes time. If you want to learn a new skill, everything takes time and patience. Learning new things, being open to learn. So it's definitely a big learning process to sí, para decirlo menos. I need to stop saying that so much. I say para decirlo menos a lot because I like it. I like that phrase. Para decirlo menos. Monte Brown, wow, great goals in terms of getting there. You got it, man. 10K is too easy for you. Yeah, I hope so. And I think it really just depends on the type of videos, the type of videos that you make and things like that. Like for me, I know like a lot of videos, like some videos that I make, I know they won't, more than likely they won't get a lot of views because maybe it's not really popular, very trendy or whatever. But like what I'm trying to do on my I'm gonna say canal. What I like to do on my channel is give advice that that I want to give, like a Spanish learner. Where what I didn't have, I want to give to other people. So like some of those videos, they may not be very popular, but I don't really care because I'm just trying to give out as much information as possible. So that's kind of probably why it's maybe slower growth too. And because I don't know how to title anything, and it's all new to me, making videos and stuff like that. I mean, who knows? Pero sí, eso es la verdad. I love to talk about reading and things like that. I don't know how many Spanish speakers like to read and things like that. And maybe if I make a whole bunch of videos about like el negro americano hablando español perfectamente, maybe I'll get some more views like that. But who knows? I don't know. AEO says, me gusta formato, la forma o el formato de Mike Ben con sus entrevistas están muy útiles. Yeah, I've seen a few of them. I know he just came out with another one like a few days ago or a day ago or something like that. I like his content a lot. The Monte Brown, people are gonna always criticize. You have to push through. I know, man. It's difficult, man. It's difficult. I know it's that those who criticize are the same ones who can't do what you're doing. Yeah. But I mean, I'm not talking about people who just like criticize, but people who are just like correcting me too, as far as like my Spanish. So yeah, when people correct my Spanish too, like when I know I say something incorrectly or whatever, that kind of me pone muy triste. And I think that's a difficult part as well. Of creating a channel like this I would say, because when I look at the English learning niche, so YouTubers who create English videos, I would say like there's a lot more English content, a lot more content that's for English, English speakers versus Spanish. Like there are, some very big ones, within the Spanish learning niche. But I feel like with English, like there's just a lot more because there's more people who are learning English, like this. So I think that's the difficult part. Like this, like you were saying beforehand, there's only so many of us. Boricua, BR. I don't know what BR means, but yeah, that's kind of difficult. You are going to says Rosangela Saletti, BR. I don't know what is that. Es un país, no sé. De dónde eres, Rosangela? Where are you from? And thanks for coming, Te Boy, or Te Doy el bienvenido a mi canal. Thanks for joining the live stream. Brazil. Okay. See, you know what? I didn't realize like that those little letters were like countries until like a week ago. Not even gonna lie. Pero Brazil, okay. Yo soy de los Estados Unidos, entonces saludos desde los Estados Unidos. Brasil, Brasil. I don't know much about Brazil. All I know is Portuguese is kind of similar to Spanish-ish, but like the words or like the letters seem like they're just flipped. And Demonte Brown says, and that's with inconsistency. I feel like it couldn't be way harder. I've been consistent and I've been consistent and not such a procrastinator. The way you post videos really inspired me to get it together. Yeah, I think it just really depends, It really depends on the person and the content creator, because there are some Spanish content creators that I've seen. They only post a few times a month, but they still get thousands of views. So it really just depends. Like for me personally, I have to create over I have to create over 100 videos and still not have any regular videos that have over 1,000 views yet. That's just me personally. That's just me as a creator, and that's just my path. But it's not the same thing, for other ones. So it really depends on. It just depends. It's like there's so many factors that are that are part of it. That's kind of what I say. There's so much involved when it comes to this, right? Analytics and what your video is about, and who is going to target, who's watching it. There's just a lot of different things that are that come with it, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, if your desire is to be consistent, then hazlo. Then be more consistent. Do what you got to do. That's what I would say. Do what you got to do to be consistent. Quizás tienes que sacrificar algunos lujos de la vida, quizás, de tus pasatiempos o algo así. Eso es lo que yo hago un poquito, pero bueno. Rosangela Saretti says, I was studying Spanish now on YouTube. Oh, and YouTube directed me. Oh, sweet. Okay, bueno. Do you understand me? My English isn't good. No, está bien. No, I understand you perfectly. Thanks again for coming. I wish I spoke Portuguese. And Rosangela, I don't know if I'm saying your name correctly. Pardon me if I'm not. But how long have you been studying Spanish for? I like when YouTube directs people to my channel. That's nice. That's good to know. Oh yeah. Also, if you haven't liked this video yet, make sure that you like this video as well. Then also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. But make sure that you definitely like this video as well. This live stream, so YouTube knows that people like it, basically, básicamente. Que hay gente aquí que le gusta. O que le encanta este video. AEO says, no va a ser fácil hablar español como originales de español hablantes. Claro. And that's a big struggle for me as well. That's always been a big struggle for me. Because I used to compare, like when I went to the Dominican Republic for the first time, you probably always hear me complain about it. Like I used to compare myself to the Dominicans a lot, And like eso me desanimó muchísimo. Like I got really demotivated because I couldn't speak exactly like them. Like with their velocity, like how fast that they spoke, and then also with like try to mimic their accent and things like that. It's just if you are getting introduced to a language or to a, a particular country for the first time, you can't expect that from yourself to sound exactly like the people who live there. So yeah, that's something that I used to stress out a lot about. Timothy Brown says, bueno loco, un placer volver a hablar contigo, me cae súper, ya le di like al video, muchas gracias por eso. Te veo pronto, cuídate. Ok, chao. Que se vaya con Dios. Nos vemos pronto, brother. Oh, I love the way that that Spanish speakers say brother. Like some of my friends, they always say brother. So it's not brother, but they put a little more style to it. Brother. Suena más latino. All right, let's go back to the poll here. So for the question, la pregunta de hoy, have you reached any of your 22 language goals in las respuestas? Yes, I have. We have 44%, 44% says yes, I have. And then also 44%, 44% that says no, I have not. 11%, I have not thought about it yet. 11% says I have not thought about it yet. And 0%, I don't have any language goals. So I was surprised we don't have one person that has said that before. Rosangela Saletti asked, do you teacher? So no, I am not a teacher. Yo no soy profesor de ninguna manera. No soy no soy licenciado de licenciado de profesor o nada de eso. No tengo certificación. Yo no fui a la universidad para ser un profesor, entonces la respuesta es no. Solamente, like, the only thing I do is just, try to give a lot of advice for learning Spanish from on my channel. But like, apart from that, I'm not like an actual teacher, certified teacher, none of that. So don't get that idea. Didn't go to school to be a Spanish teacher or anything like that. So no, I'm not a teacher. But I like to say that I'm an educator, and I say those two things are different. Like I feel like I can educate people on things, like to be aware of certain things, but like teaching is like an actual, like a specific skill. I think you actually have to work on and increase, and you have to be more taught how to do something like that. I'm going off on a tangent, but yeah, not a teacher. Disclaimer. Disclaimer. I am not a teacher. Or I say certified. me pone happy. Me pone happy. No soy teacher. Y yo, eso es porque quiero aprender muchísimo antes de interacción con nativa blanca. Pero no, eso, mira, te voy a decir la verdad. Eso no es importante. No tienes que prepararte antes de tener una conversación en español. Eso no es necesariamente, eso no es necesario. Eso, bueno, viene con muchas inseguridades y todo eso. No tienes que pensar mucho, no tienes que prepararte tanto para tener una conversación o estar alrededor de latinos, hispanohablantes, nada de eso. Solamente hazlo, solamente como dar el primer paso para hablar con un nativo. Ya. Solo esto. So AAO says, it's a reason that is why I want to learn a lot before interacting with native speakers. And my advice for all Spanish learners, even if you haven't learned Spanish, is you don't really have to prepare yourself that much to have an interaction with a native Spanish speaker. You may feel that you need to prepare yourself a lot. I like to say that it doesn't matter if you don't know any Spanish today. I still want you to go and say hola to a Spanish speaker. And they're going to respond to you, and you're not going to know anything that they're saying, and that's completely fine. Because the goal is not to be perfect, but really the goal is in essence, is to communicate with other people and to try to break the language barrier. But if you can't break the language barrier because you're a beginner, it's still about having that interaction and connecting with another person. Besides, if you can't understand them, that's something that I like to promote, because even though I'm a fluent Spanish speaker, like I say all the time, I still have so many different conversations where I don't understand anything at all. So yeah, I mean, that's just kind of my rant as far as, like, trying to, like, feel comfortable. It's all about, like, trying to feel comfortable before you have an interaction with the native Spanish speaker. You're never really going to feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable like ever. And I talk to Spanish speakers basically on a daily basis, text them, talk to them in person, and I still don't feel very comfortable. That's kind of how I think about it. You just have to do it, basically. Nike, not sponsored by Nike, but I wish, maybe one day. But yeah, definitely just do it. But por el otro lado, depending on, like, if you're trying to practice having a conversation, that's kind of a different story, because then it'll be like, oh yeah, you should. Que es muy triste. Hey, yo, que es muy triste. dígame que es muy triste. ¿Qué te puso? ¿Qué te puso triste? Déjame saber. Agua fresca. ¿Qué te puso triste? And for those who are coming in, make sure that you answer the question in the chat here. Have you reached any of your 22 language goals as well? If you have not liked this video, make sure that you like this video, or this live stream rather. And then also subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribed to this channel. One thing I would also like to know is, for everybody who is watching and who will be watching, let me know how you found this channel as well. Did my channel just pop up in a search when you're searching something on YouTube, or did someone recommend or, like, share my channel with you? Let me know that as well. Okay, Rosangela Saletti, talking about you in Spanish, please. Talk about you in Spanish. Oh, háblame sobre mí mismo en español. Algo así. Eso es lo que quieres saber, Rosangela. Me llamo Josué. Pero para estar claro, déjame saber, eso es lo que quieres, eso es lo que me quieres hacer. AEO. Okay. Okay, no, this is a great conversation. So AEO says it's sad that todavía. It's sad that, like, I'm not comfortable, and yeah, it's that kind of comes with having communication. I would say, like, as a human being, with every new person that you meet, I'm not always comfortable. También because I'm actually, I'm an introvert, so I prefer actually to be right here in my home and not really talk to people. But as a Spanish learner, I really have to get out of my shell, get out of my home, and talk to people and things like that. But I mean, for everybody, it's always awkward, talking to someone new, whether it's with someone in Spanish or whether it's with someone in your native tongue as well. It's just, it can be kind of uncomfortable the first time that you meet someone. That's what I mean. Basically, it can be always challenging to meet someone for the first time. And then especially if it's in your second language, it's just kind of difficult. Rosangela Salati, about studying and work. Bueno, si quieres saber sobre mí, como mi experiencia en el español, I think that's what you mean. Pero if that's the case, let's see. I started studying Spanish cuando tenía 13 años. 30. No, 30, 13, 30. Cuando tenía 30 años, when I was 13 years old, and then I took about 6 years of formal Spanish classes. So from middle school up to college, I took about 6 years worth of formal classes, and como los últimos 3 años, yo había estudiado por mi cuenta español. I've been studying Spanish for the past 3 years on my own after graduating college. Hey, yo, eso es mi meta de español, hablar español con fluidez. Eso, bueno, eso es mi meta también. One thing I would suggest, una cosa que te aconsejo es estar o ser muy claro en esta meta. Porque hablar español con fluidez, como qué significa eso, ¿me entiendes? ¿Qué exactamente significa teniendo fluidez? Porque fluidez puede ser un montón de tipos de cositas. Entonces tienes que enfocar en tu propia definición de esta idea o de esta meta. Yo quiero hablar con fluidez, pero ¿qué? ¿Cómo podría lograr eso? ¿O cómo podría medir esta meta también? Porque eso es bien importante. ¿Cómo vas a saber cuando, como, o el momento que llegas o el momento que alcances esta meta, cómo sabrías esto? Eso es lo que tienes que saber, lo que tienes que hacer con las metas. So how are you going to know that you have reached Spanish speaking fluency? That's a question that you have to ask yourself. To be very what's what I'm looking for? To be very clear on this goal that that you have for yourself, because that is what made me like very stressed out for like a year, or I think probably even over a year. Was my goal was to be fluent in Spanish, to be a fluent Spanish speaker, but I had no idea what that meant. I had no idea what being a fluent Spanish speaker was. I had no idea really how to measure it properly. I might have like touched on it a little bit already, but perdóname, mi bigote y mi barba. But that is lo que te aconsejo. Lo que te aconsejo es estar muy bien claro en lo que quieres exactamente. What exactly do you want when it comes to Spanish speaking fluency? Do you want to be able to mimic an accent? Do you want to be able to, have a conversation for 20 minutes? Do you want to speak with, less mistakes? Is it all the above? Be very clear on, what that means. Because if you just say, I want to speak Spanish speaking fluency like I did, I was chasing it for a year and a half, but there was no end. Like there was no way of me measuring, what Spanish speaking fluency was for me. Besides, it was for me at the time, like 2 years ago, it was speaking perfectly, and that I was never going to reach that goal, and that made me really stressed out. So make sure that you are very claro. Make sure that you're very clear on what exactly your definition of Spanish speaking fluency is. Héctor, Héctor Alacón Aviv. Voy a mitad del camino con el latín clásico, ¿eh? Qué interesante. También me interesa aprender inglés antiguo. Inglés, ¿verdad? Ok. No me parezco a Will Smith, no me parezco a él. Héctor Alacón Aviv says, I'm in the middle of my classic Latin journey. So learning classic Latin, that's very interesting. I don't think I've ever met anybody who is learning classic Latin, and then also has an interest in learning Old English. I definitely haven't met anybody who has a desire to learn Old English. That's very interesting. Poco a poco says, where you find native Spanish speakers in addition to Italy or friends? Where you find them? Wherever. So quizás en tu ciudad, maybe so you can find them in the city where you live. So like stores. Yeah, iTalki. I use applications like Hello Talk, Hello Talk and Tandem, Hello Talk, Tandem, and then you can also do, depending on where you live, you might be able to find like actual groups of people who are learning languages. I think, oh yeah, then that website is called Meetup. So Meetup is pretty good. I've been to a few of those actually, where I used to live. So it's like a whole bunch of people. Like there's groups online. People make groups online, and then you can join it. Some of them are a lot of times like they're free. They can be in person. They can be virtual. You meet up and you have a language exchange. That's something that's a good place if a good place to find people who are learning languages and Spanish if you're able to. AEAEO says, oh, also Spanish speakers, if depending where you live as well, go to discotecas. Go to discotecas and then go to mercados. And when I say mercados, I mean like it's like the store is actually titled Mercado or Supermercado because yeah, it's Spanish. It's Spanish owned or Supermercado. And then you'll definitely find Spanish speakers there. AEAEO, estar cómodo con la lengua. Ok, cómodo. Sí, la palabra venga otra vez. Yeah, being comfortable. Por ejemplo, en mis primeros 3 meses pensé saber español. Ahora me siento saber nada. Pero mira, eso solamente es un pensamiento, pero eso no significa que eso es la verdad. Eso solamente es un sentimiento y los sentimientos de los seres humanos siempre cambian, ¿me entiendes? Entonces tienes que tener una medida eficaz para medir tu meta. So AEO says to be comfortable with the language. So for example, in my first three months, I thought I knew Spanish, and right now I feel like I don't. So yeah, I was just saying that there's many times where you feel like you don't know anything. Like me, I have felt plenty of times this year that I don't know that much Spanish. So like at the end of the day, they're just feelings, but it doesn't mean that they are the real feelings. But I mean, like it doesn't mean that you actually don't know Spanish. It's just like how you feel. Perdóname, it's just how you feel in that moment, or it's just some thoughts that you have at that moment. But you kind of just have to like really focus on how you're actually measuring your progress. If you just do it based off of your feelings, well, this year I have felt like I haven't really know Spanish. I haven't been able to comprehend Spanish speakers so many times throughout this year. So if I go off just that, I'm going to feel like I haven't learned anything. But that's the opposite of the truth. Yeah, the truth is I've actually learned a ton about Latino culture this year. I've learned a ton about new accents within different Spanish speaking countries, but I still have many times where I struggle with speaking. I have plenty of times where I struggle with making a proper sentence in Spanish. I still make plenty of mistakes. So that still happens all the time. So feelings, they come and go. Ven y salen. I love this. I love this question too. Okay, Rosangela Saletti asks, do you talking better? You talking better in English or in Spanish? Better. I think I speak honestly. I speak better in English because I would say that's my native language. So I speak better, but I think I speak with more detail actually in Spanish, which is quite interesting. Like I use a lot more adjectives when I speak Spanish. Probably just because how I've been learning as an adult and things like that. But yeah, I'm way more descriptive in Spanish than I am in English. Like I love to use the adjective maravilloso, maravilloso, maravillosa, elegante. But I never use those adjectives when I speak English. So marvelous, elegant. I never say words like that, like so big and things like that. Like in English, it's more of like an exaggeration-ish. Pero sí. But if your question was which one do I like talking more with, it's also Spanish. Oh no, not also, but I like to talk more in Spanish because it's just fun. I find it very fun. Muy divertido, muy chulo. Let's see. So we have 10 votes. Have you reached any of your 22 language learning goals? Any of your 22 language goals? We have 40% for yes, I have. 50% for no, I have not. And 10%, 10% for I have not thought about it yet. And then let me know in the chat for all those who are joining with the live stream here, what language learning goal do you have for this year? One of mine was to read more books, and I've kind of accomplished that goal. I've read 2 books in Spanish this year. 2 books in Spanish this year. One is, actually, I have them both here. Only 2 this far. I think last year I maybe read like 3 or 4. I think maybe 3. But this year I'm kind of slow. So I've read this book, Short Stories in Spanish for Beginners, and I've also read Mala Hora by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. And all those books are also linked in the description box of this live stream too, if you're interested in buying those. Recientemente reconozco las relaciones entre los pronombres y los verbos. Sí, eso es lo difícil también, los pronombres. O como lee los, como estos, o algo diferente. Oh, no. Los Angelas, he says, sing with music in Spanish. I don't sing. Yo no canto. Yo no soy cantante. No puedo. Yeah, I won't do that because I'm not a singer, so I don't sing. I sing when I'm alone, not in public, because I have a terrible voice. But is that what you meant, AEO? Like those direct and indirect objects? For me, it's always like a learning process with those. Like I have a good understanding of them, but like I don't always use them necessarily. Because you don't have to use them, but they're very, very useful. But depending on what you want to say, you have to use them. But todo depende de la frase que creas, que creas. No, no puedo tampoco. No, I don't sing at all. I don't sing in English or Spanish. Esto no pasará en esta live stream. No soy cantante. Pero si fuera cantante, tienes que pagarme. So let me know in the chat, what are your language learning goals for this year, for 2022? Or just one or multiple ones, whichever ones. What are your goals? Además, yo diría que yo voy a terminar este live stream quizás en 10 minutos más o menos. So in about 10 minutes, I will end the live stream porque me tengo que ir. Me tengo que ir. That's part of a song. That's part of a song. Me tengo que ir. So yeah, if you have any questions, make sure that you ask them in these final 10 minutes, and I'll make sure to do my best to answer them as well. Pero siempre me da mucho gusto estar con ustedes platicando, hablando sobre todo lo que tiene que ver con español. I love having these live streams and chatting with you all, having these conversations about Spanish, learning languages. Me pone muy feliz. Me pone muy feliz. They put me very happy. It's like the translation. Ay, Dios. No. No. Déjame remover estas cositas, because, yeah. No. No vamos a tener esto. Ok, perfecto. Entonces, pregúntame algo si tiene, y también responder a mi propia pregunta. So let me know in the chat here, what are your language learning goals for 2022? And then as well, if you have any other questions, let me know. Porque en 10 minutos yo voy a terminar este live stream, because in 10 minutes I will end this live stream for now. But we'll definitely have some more in the future. So AEAEO says, todo pronombres, nombres con verbo en básico, pero no me lo clara. No me lo aclara. Oh, you can say, no, pero no estoy claro. Yeah, like you don't have to say all that. And that's something that I used to do a lot. I used to use them way too much. But I think like sometimes we make it like como los pronombres todo eso, we use them too much sometimes as Spanish learners, because we don't know exactly where to place them. Like in this case, you don't have to say no me lo clara, because like eso no tiene sentido muchísimo, but like I know what you wanted to say. Like you just say like como no estoy claro, or like no entiendo, but like in this case you don't have to say me lo that. I'm trying to think of like a way that you could use them though. No me lo dejo, no me lo dejo claro. No tiene sentido. Yeah. It just like try to keep it as simple as possible. It's like in this case, no soy claro. Because like a lot of those pronombres y también los ¿cómo se dice? Los pronombres y los objetivos directos y indirectos van con palabras específicas. So like a lot of times when you have these may, low, and things like that, they come like in a package. So like they'll come with certain verbs and certain words and things like that. That makes it a little bit interesting. Lost my train of thought. Perdí mi pensamiento. Yeah, so like, let me write them down. Por ejemplo, mandar, eso es un verbo. Seguro. Sí, no estoy seguro. Ajá, no estoy seguro. Like mandar, that a lot of times is used a lot with ley, and then so is like llamar. So like there's the specific verbs that usually are accompanied by these types of like indies or indirect objects, for example, like mandarle, llamarle, dale, and things like that. So like the specific verbs that you should know, or like you'll find out, you'll learn over time, where that are more likely to use these types of pronouns and indirect objects and direct objects. So you just kind of know. I mean, there's a ton of them, so that's why it can be kind of difficult. There's a whole bunch of them, and then you have like the impersonal saying and things like that too. So, and that says, do you and Ricky from Bilingue Blogs talk? No, so I've never talked with Bilingue Blogs before, but I'm definitely one of his audience members. So I've been watching Ricky and watching his channel, Bilingue Blogs. I think I started watching him in 2020, more than likely like in 2020. But yeah, I never had a conversation with him before. And Rosangela Salete says, do you like the show? Everybody hates Chris. Claro que sí. Yes, I probably have seen every single episode of that TV show more than once. So yeah, it's a great show. Es muy claro o mejor para mí ahora. Ok, está bien, perfecto. AEAO says muy claro. It is clear or better for me now. That's good. Ojalá que sí. And let's see, we got 10 there. Okay, I already read that already. And Annette, have you talked with Ricky from Bling Ray Blogs? I was actually just watching his video, one of his videos today when he went to the Dominican Republic. I was just watching that today, his like vlog when he went there. I want to do like some of those types of videos, maybe like vlog type. But I have no idea when I'll be going to a Spanish speaking country ever again. So maybe in the future. Annette says, no, but I want to learn from him. Yeah. I really like his videos where he talks about how to learn, he talks about how to learn like the Dominican accent, how to learn Dominican Spanish, how to learn, I think he has a video on Puerto Rican Spanish and maybe Cuban, but I know for sure he has like videos about how to learn Dominican and Puerto Rican Spanish. And like his videos are really funny. And you definitely learn a lot. Hable más, un poco más país. Desde mi país, bueno, yo vivo en los Estados Unidos, entonces tenemos un montón de comida, estados, gente muy diversa de todos lados. Bueno, yo vivo en Texas, entonces, bueno, hay gente de todos lados acá, tenemos muchos hispanohablantes. Yo he conocido personas de Colombia, de Venezuela, de México, Puerto Rico, la República Dominicana, Cuba, bueno, ya dije Venezuela, Panamá. Entonces, yo diría es un país muy mezclada en cuanto a la raíz de la gente. Y que más, bueno, me encanta como todas las oportunidades que están en este país. Bueno, sí, eso es lo que yo puedo decir. Es mucha libertad también acá. Bueno, pues, estoy muy agradecido por haber nacido aquí. Y me encantan las discotecas. Me encanta bailar. Pero ¿qué más? ¿Cuál otra preguntas tienes ustedes? Do y'all have, what other questions do you have? Porque muy pronto me voy. Me tengo que ir. I have to leave quite soon. Y también, no dije el nombre. Los Estados Unidos. Unidos, estamos una persona, una gente. Los Estados Unidos. Así como se escribe en español. Los Estados Unidos. I can't spell. No podría escribir nada. Unidos. Ay, Dios. ¿Qué está pasando? Ok, entonces, Muchas gracias otra vez. Thank you all again for coming to this stream and chatting it up with me about your goals and your experiences learning Spanish. Make sure again to subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed yet. Make sure that you like this live stream as well. Give it a little thumbs up. You'll see like at the bottom under the title, debajo el título. ¿Qué más? Y bueno, en la caja de descripción, in the description box of this live stream, I have a few different Spanish learning resources. I have more than these. So you can find these in the description box of this video. You'll find links to them to Amazon, where you can purchase some different books. I have a Spanish grammar book, Spanish verb book, and then also some regular books as well. If you're interested in those are in the description box, and also a discount for ITALKI. That's also in the description box as well. So if you're planning on taking some ITALKI lessons for whatever language, it's not just for Spanish, any lesson at all, you can use that, get a discount. And I also have my ITALKI tutors listed in the description box as well. So each one of those tutors, I've had a video and I've uploaded a video of our conversation of the actual ITALKI lesson on my YouTube channel, so you can check those out as well. Y también puedes donar dinero. You can donate now to support my channel on my Buy Me a Coffee page, and that's also linked in the description box of this video. Entonces, I really hope you enjoyed this live stream. Hope you're enjoying my videos, and make sure that you watch my most recent video about my most extreme language learning challenge that I'm doing this year, 61 days, 2 accents. I will be doing my best to increase my Dominican accent and my Castilian accent for the last 2 months of this year. So we'll see how that goes. I'm really excited for it. Also quite nervous because it's starting in a few days. So I need to actually get prepared for that. So we'll see how that challenge goes. Make sure you watch that video and the rest of the videos on my channel as well. And sí, muchas gracias por estar aquí. Don't stop learning Spanish. Nunca te pares y nunca te desanimes tampoco. So never get dismotivated. No, unmotivated. I can't speak English. Don't get unmotivated either. Sigue adelante. No tienes miedo. Don't have any fear. And don't let your insecurities for learning Spanish keep you back. No quede de atrás. Y nos vemos muy pronto. So we'll see each other pretty soon. And I'll see you in the next live stream or in the next video, whichever one comes first. So thank you again for coming. Mil gracias y nos vemos muy pronto. Adiós. Que tenga un muy buen resto de tu día.